mid-18th century, in the Catskill Mountains of New York, there lived a kind and gentle man named Rip Van Winkle. Rip was a hard-working man who loved his family and community, but he was also known for his love of nature and his tendency to get lost in thought. Rip lived with his wife, Dame Van Winkle, and their daughter in a small village at the foot of the mountains. He spent most of his days working in the fields, hunting and fishing. Rip was a popular man in the village, known for his good humor and his ability to tell entertaining stories. One day, while wandering in the mountains, Rip stumbled upon a group of strange-looking men who were playing ninepins, a popular Dutch game. Rip was intrigued by the men and their game, and he decided to join them. The men were dressed in old-fashioned clothing, and they seemed to be from a different era. They were friendly and welcoming, and they offered Rip a drink from a keg. Rip, being a sociable man, accepted the drink and soon found himself feeling drowsy. As the night wore on, Rip became more and more entranced by the game and the company of the strange man. They seemed to be having a great time, laughing and joking together. Rip joined in, feeling carefree and happy. But as the night wore on, Rip began to feel a strange sensation. He felt as though he was being pulled into a deep sleep, and he couldn't resist. The last thing he remembered was the sound of the men laughing and the clinking of glasses. When Rip woke up, he found himself in a strange and unfamiliar world. The village he knew was gone, replaced by a bustling town with new buildings and strange contraptions. The people he met were also unfamiliar, and they spoke of a new country called the United States of America. Rip was confused and disoriented. He didn't know where he was or how he had gotten there. He stumbled through the town, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. As he walked, Rip noticed that everything was different. The houses were bigger and more modern. The streets were paved, and the people were dressed in strange new clothes. Rip felt like a man out of time, and he didn't know how to fit in. Eventually, Rip came across a group of people who were talking about the American Revolution. They spoke of George Washington and the Continental Army, of battles fought and won. Rip was amazed. He had never heard of such things. As he listened, Rip began to realize that he had slept for 20 years. He had missed the entire American Revolution, and the world had changed beyond recognition. Rip struggled to adjust to the new world. He felt like a relic from another era, and he didn't know how to fit in. He wandered the streets, feeling lost and alone. Eventually, Rip came across an old man who recognized him. The old man told Rip that he had been asleep for 20 years and that the world had changed dramatically. He told Rip about the American Revolution and about the new country that had been formed. Rip was amazed. He had never imagined that such things could happen. He felt like a man out of time, and he didn't know how to fit in. As Rip struggled to adjust to the new world, he began to realize that he had been given a rare gift. He had been allowed to see the world change in ways that he never could have imagined. Rip's story became a legend, told and retold throughout the years. It was a reminder that the world is always changing and that we must adapt to survive. And so, Rip Van Winkle's story comes to an end. He slept for 20 years, and when he woke up, the world had changed forever.